Hey team!
What's up, everybody? It's been a while.
How's it going? We are excited to sit down and discuss a few things this evening. I'm Nate.
I'm Ryan.
And this is NNR Analysis. I saw a post online. I couldn't tell you who it was from, and I don't want to say it's from ESPN and be incorrect, but I saw a post that said the 5 most influential players of all time, which sparked a discussion between Ryan and I. So we're going to talk about that quickly.
And then we're going to go over our top 10 players we think in the league. Obviously, ESPN's put out their top 100, so we're going to go through the top 10 and see where we differ, where we are the same.
ESPN said on theirs that they had people vote on it, the experts, and then obviously
they didn't ask us.
They didn't ask us, right? Other ESPN analysts got on and were very upset about the list, so it'll be interesting to discuss. First, let's talk about the 5 most influential players of all time. The post I saw had Michael Jordan at number 1, LeBron James at number 2, Allen Iverson at number 3, Kobe Bryant 4, and Magic Johnson at number 5. So Ryan, your thoughts? Do you agree, disagree?
I think all of them were influential. I would put them all top 10 for sure in most influential players for the game. They obviously did a whole ton for the game. But I wouldn't put each of them in the top 5. I'd keep 3 of them the same and 2 I'd pull away.
I think I know who those are. I think you'd take Iverson out.
I'd take Iverson out. I think he played a big role in the style of the NBA. Very much this bad boy guy coming out of Georgetown. But, yeah, I'd take him out.
I think I'd take him out as well. And then, if I had to guess, I'd say Kobe.
And see, y'all know we're Jazz. We're here in Utah, and Kobe
Dallas
kind of has this. We don't really like Kobe a lot for what he did in the playoffs there, Jazz. I would keep Kobe though, and I take off Magic. Even though I love Magic, Magic's one of my favorite all-time players. I pull him off as far as influence for the game.
That's interesting. I would probably put Bill Russell in there, just for winning records.
That's true.
As many as he's won.
And he was right in the get-go of the NBA, right from the beginning.
Yeah, right from the beginning. Inspired a lot of people that now play in the NBA. Yeah. So I would keep Jordan at 1. I would keep LeBron at 2, actually. I wouldn't have Iverson in there, and I think Russell is the only one. Iverson and Russell, I would swap there. And then Kobe, I think he's influential for the game, but he's very similar to Jordan, so I don't know who I would put in place of him necessarily. I don't know. See, that's hard. So give me your top 5 influential players.
So these are in no specific order of my top 5. Well, actually, are in a specific order. I put them in order of when they played. So going back from early on, Bill Russell's a good choice, but I didn't go with Bill Russell. And Magic's also a good choice, but I actually went with Kareem. Kareem started out UCLA, had a great career there, multiple NCAA championships, transferred to the league, obviously multiple rings, multiple MVPs, and he carried over that generation for a long time.
And he's got the scoring title currently, which LeBron could catch him this season.
It's true.
Good
so
pick.
I put him there, and then, see, this is where it gets hard because it's like Magic obviously had a role, but with Magic, his time in the league wasn't very long, so I kind of look past that and I go into MJ from there.
Okay.
So MJ, obviously, great career. Many consider the GOAT. So he had that. Then I go into Kobe. I think Kobe carried the league. Obviously, like you said, he did.
We have Kobe on there.
He did come along with a very similar game style to Michael Jordan, but I think the people really were drawn to that. And then I go into LeBron. And then I go into Curry because of how
very cool
LeBron's been able to last so long with these players and keep the game alive. Obviously, different style than a lot of other players. This pass-first guy who can still score. I mean, you said he could. He's supposed to pass Kareem this year, all-time scoring. Mm-hmm. But this guy who's never been the guy who you've known as a scorer. He's won the scoring title. He's won the assist title. He has the MVPs. He has the ring. So I think him, and then obviously Steph, changed the game into a 3-point. So I think those are the 5 most influential to the game, in my opinion.
I don't know if Steph changed the game to the 3-point because it was kind of becoming that from Reggie Miller and Ray Allen and other good players, but I get where you're coming from. Plus, he has well exceeded any of those, and his record from 3-pointers will be incredibly hard to break. Sure. So, glad we discussed that. Let's hop into our next section. Good picks, Ryan.
Thank you.
I like that. So, from ESPN, I'm going to look over here for a second. They have Giannis Antetokounmpo at 1. And these are, again, the 10 best players in the NBA currently, according to whoever voted, whoever that was. Giannis at 1. Nikola Jokic at 2. Luka Doncic at 3. 4 is Joel Embiid. 5, Steph Curry. 6, LeBron James. 7, Jason Tatum. 8, Kevin Durant. 9, John Morant, and 10, Devin Booker. So Ryan and I differ a bit on this. I do agree with number 1. I have Giannis. Who do you have?
I have Giannis as well at number 1.
Sweet, we agree on something.
I mean he's great. I don't think he's when the game's all said and done, all these players have retired. I don't think he's the best out of the 10 on that list for their career.
Yeah,
but
currently,
right now,
okay,
I think so.
And this is so hard to decide because
everything.
It could be different for anyone in location. Like we discussed the 5 most influential players. To me, John Stockton's probably my most influential player, right? Same thing with this list. It's at current times, who's the best, that type of thing. I think ESPN has decided that LeBron's gotten a bit older. He can't do quite as much as he used to, and that's maybe why he's gone down the list. But I'm interested to see who's number 2 on your list.
So number 2, I put Steph.
Okay. Wow. You are surprising me, Mr. Ryan.
I think just Steph, his ability, his leadership, he is so much to the game that I think right now, especially with the guards, like we are starting to see these big men come back to the league. Where for a long time it was big men, obviously in the beginning, went more to guards. Now it's going back to the big men as being these elite players. It's harder and harder for these big men to guard Steph.
That's true.
There's not these amazing guards anymore like there was for a while. And so I think because of that, I put him at number 2. He's too unstoppable right now.
He's definitely got the skill. I'll give him that. He's if he's not shooting a 3, which he can shoot it from almost anywhere on the court, he can drive. That's the tricky part about him is you'd think people could just guard him at the 3, but that's not necessarily the case.
So you didn't agree with that. So who's your number 2?
I didn't. I picked Nikola Jokic, which that's the same as what ESPN has so far. But it's a tough debate at the very top. And the only reason I put him... I'm trying to gather my thoughts here. So I actually picked in a previous video on our way too early predictions as Joel Embiid to win the MVP this year. Now knowing what I know about the ESPN top players, I might have changed that to Giannis. But last year and the year before was Jokic. So I don't discredit him and put him way down the list already. I think he is a number 2 player. And I think he not only scores and is amazing as far as offense goes, but his defense is decent. And his assist game is really what amazes me. Yeah. He puts up amazing numbers, and I think that was the reason why he was back-to-back MVP.
Yeah. Playmaking, big man.
But,
very good.
Again, debatable. This is debatable for anyone. It's all opinion. So, go with number 3.
Who you got?
I have Embiid.
Okay.
And I have to put him up higher.
3 big men right at the top.
3 big men. Giannis is kind of a... He's not a center, though. He is a big man.
He'll play center in small lineups, but typically he's power forward,
yeah. Yeah, he's like a Carmelone, since we haven't seen one since Carmelone. Power forward. But Giannis can fly. I don't know. I love Giannis. But Embiid is number 3 for me, and I'm actually really pushing for him to get the MVP. I think that would be cool for him. The process. Okay, who you got at 3?
I got LeBron, man.
Okay.
My man.
Keeping him up higher.
I think people discredit, people think that he's got the age, everything, he's going down the list and everything, and I agree. He's got an age. He's gone from 1 to 3, okay? He's up there still. I mean, he's like fine wine. He's like Tom Brady in the NFL. You can't get rid of him. He's at the top of his game.
Cool. I like that. Fine wine at the top of his game. He's still putting up crazy numbers. And I don't know if it's just an age thing, but if he does, well, I don't know if he'd win another MVP with the current people that are in the NBA. But if he did, he would top Malone for the oldest MVP presently. That would be cool. So it'd be crazy to see him put up a monster season this year. Somehow the Lakers always come back into conversation. It's funny. I think they're going to be like 8th this season. I think Ryan had them 7th, but still, they will be the topic of every ESPN conversation. So if they do well, good on them. And give LeBron his props.
Who you got it for?
Steph Curry.
Ooh, okay.
Yep, and you had him at 2.
I have him at 2.
I think he's an amazing player. I actually am switching presently what I have on my list.
Okay, I'm glad. I mean,
and I asked myself a minute ago, is he a better player than LeBron James? And I don't know if that's the case. So I'd say tied for 4th.
Okay.
LeBron James. Because LeBron contributes in different ways, but I can't discredit the amazing game that Steph Curry has.
It's very similar, I think, LeBron and Steph, as far as they do a lot for the game, but they also do a lot of leadership.
Yeah.
And I think that helps their team.
Yeah, but a lot of people don't like LeBron, and it seems like Steph Curry is liked, but...
Yeah, but I think that's one reason why I put Steph so high is because of his leadership. In addition, and LeBron as well, is their leadership.
Taking a lot of
their
different
IQ
things
that they have,
into
and the ability they are
account.
to get their guys going.
Okay. Who did you have it for?
I have Kevin Durant.
Kevin Durant.
And, I mean, obviously, Steph, LeBron, Kevin Durant, they are aging. They're getting up there.
You know what's cool here, though, is when the Warriors won, Kevin Durant was there and won Finals MVP twice. And, of course, that's according to the finals, but they also go according to who's the best player at the time, right?
Typically, Andre Iguodala never was.
That is true.
But typically, yeah.
There's some odd ones in there occasionally. But Steph should have won that Finals MVP.
LeBron should have won.
LeBron was on the losing team, but yes, I know that can happen. I know that can happen. Anyways, what I'm saying is, if Steph and Kevin Durant were now on the same team, who's to say that Steph Curry wouldn't win the Finals MVP if they won again? Crazy thought. That just tells you Durant's getting a little older. For me, 5. He does break top 5. I said tied for 4. That's LeBron James. So, right after that, I have Kevin Durant.
Okay, so Kevin Durant comes in at 6.
Which ESPN, they put him at 8th.
But you're putting Kevin Durant at 6.
I put him at 6.
Okay.
Yep, and wow, that's crazy to say because Stephen A. of ESPN, if he watches this segment, will get on and just write so many comments about Kevin Durant is the best player in the world right now.
I think Kevin Durant's up there. If Stephen A. does watch this, he needs to comment and get on this show.
That would be so cool. That would be so cool. Invite us to ESPN. We would love that.
Rather than us bringing you on, you bring us on. Yeah, good call.
There you go. Okay, so
number 5 for me.
Okay,
going back, I have Luka at 5.
Oh, cool. I was gonna say, wait. So you had Kevin Durant at 4.
Yep, and then Luka at 5.
Luka at 5.
I think Luka just. And this is obviously some of these, like, Luka's young, so you kind of do go into a little bit of has he yet to show in his game.
Yeah, and I think there's too many talented players in the league right now that are ahead of him. If there weren't so many talented people, well, I mean, talk about this.
Too many. You're saying that like he's not a top.
There are a lot
20 player in the league.
No, I'm not saying.
Saying
I'm just saying there's a lot of talented players in the league, and maybe it looks like Luka is being overshadowed, but he is up and coming, and he will be an MVP at some point.
I mean, like, how old is he? He's like 20. What?
1.
Yeah, like he's still like 22. Somewhere
he might even be.
Wow.
Like he's young.
He has so much potential.
And we'll have to see how the Mavs do this year. I put them out of the playoffs, and Ryan was really surprised about that. I had them at 9th, and the West is just stacked this year. So, interesting to see where they'll end up. They have to surprise me, because I don't think their roster looks all that brilliant. Who do you have at 6?
So, 6, I have Jokic. So, you have it too.
So Jokic has dropped quite a bit for you.
I think...
Why? Why?
Honestly, it's
MVP, bro.
I agree.
Twice.
I know, but the thing is it's not what has he done to drop. It's what these other guys are continuing to do. Like Giannis still performs at this crazy level. I think Luka's moved up, and so that helps.
But Jokic is just slow. Like, he looks slow, and maybe that's why your opinion changes of him. But he's incredible. He's putting up these awesome numbers.
But I just feel like he's never gotten to Steph's level. He's never gotten to LeBron's level. He's never gotten to Kevin Durant's. He's never gotten to Giannis's, because Giannis was better from the get-go. And so I feel like he's always been behind those guys.
Numbers-wise, has he?
Just like
I can't think of it off the top of my head now.
Not off numbers. I'm saying just as a player. I think Giannis, Steph, LeBron, Kevin Durant.
What kind of level are you referring to, though? Athleticism?
No. Just their overall top players. I don't think he's ever been a better player than those guys.
Huh.
And I just don't feel like he's ever become a better player than them, and he still hasn't surpassed them as a better player. And Luka, I feel like has passed him.
A debate for another segment, then.
And that's why
I think... an interesting conversation. It's all the way you look at it, I think.
And that's just why I think he's all the way down at 6 is because Luka's passed him.
But Luka hasn't won an MVP. And Luka's gone no further than Jokic has in his years.
I agree.
In the playoffs.
But look what Luka's done with nobody. This year?
But Jokic, you could argue that last year when he won MVP. He didn't have Jamal Murray. He didn't have Michael Porter Jr.
MVP,
and he had a decent team. That's what Luka had.
I'll tell you what. MVP
and Mavs went to...
I don't agree with MVP.
The Western Conference Finals, which is where the Denver Nuggets made it a few years ago.
I will tell you what. I don't agree with him winning either of those MVPs that Jokic has. I don't think he's deserved either one.
But numbers will say otherwise. So, like I said, a debate for another time. I agree with you that he's at least up there on your list. 6. Okay, so I have Luka at 7.
Okay.
And the only reason I put that is just because there are those other great players in front of him. Otherwise, I would have put him higher. I mean, ESPN put him 3rd. That means he'll win an MVP soon. That means these older guys, they're out. Giannis is going to stick around for a long time.
I mean, you have to think, like, Dwayne Wade never won MVP.
Yeah,
just because
that's
you're
because
third doesn't
LeBron
mean you're
was
never
in the
going to
league.
win it. I know.
Because LeBron was
You're
in
saying
the
that these
league.
guys are in the league. Like,
but will these players move up the list eventually? I think Giannis is young, and he's already there, which tells you he's going to win multiple MVPs. Jokic is there, too. I don't know. Interesting. It's all opinion. That's what I'm realizing from doing this podcast. It is all opinion. Because numbers will tell you nothing. We could go over the GOAT debate and talk LeBron and Jordan, and there are so many different numbers that Jordan's on top or LeBron's on top, but it's opinion. It's opinion. Okay, moving on. Who you got? Did you do 7?
I did not.
7.
I have Kawhi at 7.
Kawhi at 7.
He didn't even make
I
top
have
10
Kawhi at 8.
for ESPN, but
that's because he didn't play last year,
which is fair.
Yeah.
But have you seen what he's looked like in this offseason? He is bulked up.
He has bulked up.
And I mean, assuming he doesn't slow down or like miss a step from what he was.
I hope he doesn't get injured again.
Yeah, I mean, bulking up should help with that, assuming it's not just straight fat. Like you look at him, he looks muscular when we say bulk up. So assuming that he's got more muscle, he should stay healthier longer.
I have to see how the season's going, but as you recall, I picked the Clippers to have the number 1 seed in the West.
You did.
So, potentially my pick for winning the championship this year. But there are a lot of good teams. So I had Kawhi at 8.
I have Embiid at 8.
Okay, Embiid's dropped quite a ways for you. Goodness, you wait till he wins an MVP, then you'll take that back, bro.
To be honest,
okay.
I don't know if he will win one.
You don't think he will with
by
the current people that are in the league
right now? By the time
he
finishes his career, I don't know if he will win one. I think he's a top-level player.
The process.
But sometimes top-level players don't win MVPs. Dwayne Wade never won one.
Yeah.
He's a top-level player.
Remember that one year when the NBA gave the finals the MVP, the season MVP to Karl Malone, and then Jordan was so mad about it that he destroyed him in the finals. Anyways, Just bringing that up. 9 for me is Tatum. And this is hard because I feel like there's a lot of good names above him, and I don't know if I put Tatum all that high.
So you're saying there's a gap right there between
Yes.
the top 8 and
Yep.
Tatum.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Thank you for saying that for me.
I agree. I think Tatum has the potential of closing that gap and making it closer. But as of right now, I have Tatum at 9 as well. I think there is that gap.
They had Embiid at 9. Embiid at 8?
Embiid at 8.
Okay. Tatum at 9.
There is that gap there. I feel like he can minimize that gap if he steps up his defensive end. I think offensively, amazing. It's just kind of building that leadership, and that comes with being in the league longer and just improving his defense, and that will close that gap in.
Cool.
Now 10 is the hardest one for me because
Who you got?
I sit here.
Who you got?
and I got 5-6 guys that I'm.
Ryan went up to 15, in fact.
I went up to 15 because I was trying to
And
figure out
Devin
number
Booker
10.
doesn't even make his top 15, which that could be the case for me, but I only went to 10, so I have no idea. But Devin Booker is not on my top 10.
Even looking at this, I'm like, I'm not even sure if my number 10 is 10 because I'm looking at guys like Damian Lillard, James Harden, Ja Morant, Paul George, Jimmy Butler, and I'm going
Good players.
all
Carl
these
Anthony
guys,
Towns. No.
Those guys,
13 on the ESPN
all of
list.
those make my top 15. All those guys I just said. But there's one that I put above those. And it's so hard because these other guys, like Jimmy Butler, Damian Lillard, like Paul George, great both sides. I put Anthony Davis
Wow.
at number 10.
I think he was like 16th on the list. Maybe higher, 18th. I don't know. Somebody fact check me. Put it in the comments.
19th, 21st, somewhere like that.
I have Ja Morant, so I kept it pretty close to what ESPN had there at the end. Ja Morant is in my top 10, which is a surprise to say, actually.
I love Ja.
So I think other people could jump into that. Minor, fixes to their game. Anthony Davis really could be a top 5 player, as was mentioned in years past.
And that's
He
the
just
thing.
needs to step it up and be that guy.
And
He's
stay
kind of in
healthy.
LeBron's shadow right now. And stay healthy.
Those are the big things. He has the ability to, with his size, with everything. Like he has the potential to be this top tier player. He just hasn't done it. Like college, he was dominating everybody in college, and so it was like no question he's going to be a top tier player. And he's been a top tier, but he has so much potential still that he isn't.
I hear you,
achieving.
man. I hear you. Well, there's a lot of great players in the NBA. We're glad to discuss them. This is so much fun for us every time. Thank you for watching. What should we talk about next time? I hope you know the season is coming up soon. We're only, I want to say, a few weeks away.
Training camps start.
Which is so
Right
cool.
around the
I'm so
corner.
pumped. My wife will not be happy about that. Because that's when I go back to watching basketball games and just have them on the TV for fun. But let us know what we should talk about. Who is your top 10 players? Put it in the comments. Catch you later.
So, yep.